Hi, welcome to Code.io. It's quite hard to light someone when they hear classes. Okay, fine. Anyways, so quite a few of you have been requesting a video like asking me to show my coding profiles and like hacker rank, Leet code, GFG practice, etc. So that is exactly what we are doing here. And I'll just include this with the story that how I came to do about these things, right? So back in 2018 or 2019, so yeah, it was the first year of my college, right? So I have graduated from high school, went into college. That is when I heard about competitive programming, right? So I thought it was really cool, and it was something that I could be interested in, right? So I researched a little bit about it, and I straight away went into CodeChef. Okay, so it was a time where I only knew C++, and my problem solving skills weren't that great. So I knew the C++ syntax and object oriented programming syntax, but other than that, I was not really good at understanding or solving problems, right? Because I didn't do much of coding back then. So I went straight away into CodeChef because I read in Quora and so many other websites that it is the best platform for competitive programming, right? So I went there and I read a couple of questions and I understood nothing. Okay, so I didn't know what the rating of the questions were, or I didn't know how to weigh those questions and what questions to choose for beginners. So I didn't know anything. I straight away went into CodeChef, read a couple of questions, and I felt that this is not something that is for me, like, because I didn't understand anything, and all the questions that I read were worded like chef did something, so something happened, and what should the chef do now, right? So it was monotonous for me, and I didn't understand the questions as well, right? So I have to include that. I shouldn't just say it was boring, so I didn't do that, right? So yeah. So at that time, for a couple of months, I left everything, so I didn't do anything. And later, I heard about HackerRank, and I was told that HackerRank was quite easy and beginner friendly, right? So I checked HackerRank out, and I tried solving a few questions, and it felt very easy for me, like, because the questions that you get when you just sign up to HackerRank, right, those are very simple questions. If you know basics of programming, you'll be able to do those really well. So those questions gave me some like hope or confidence, so that I could do more, right? So that was really good. So I did a couple of questions there, and once in a week or a couple of times a month, I do some questions whenever I get some free time. So that was before the pandemic. So I was busy with college, right? So whenever I was busy, I'll try to do something, and that was that. But once the pandemic hit really hard and we were all staying home, right? So that is when I got myself really interested or really into problem solving. So again, I just went back to HackerRank because that was the platform I was comfortable with, right? So I went back there and I started solving problems. So many problems. Like, it was like in the year of 2020. Yeah, 2020. So I solved too many problems. I mean, I don't want to say too many problems. I solved many problems. Okay, so that was the time that I was trying to prepare for my interviews as well, right? Like, I was in the second year of my college, but even then I thought maybe this would be helpful for my placements. So I started solving a lot of questions, and that is when I solved a lot of questions from HackerRank specifically. So at that time I was not into any other platform. So HackerRank. So I solved a lot of questions, and mainly from problem solving category. So I got up to 5 stars in problem solving. So for those of you who don't know about HackerRank, whenever you solve a question, you will get points, and when you reach certain points, you will get 1 star added to your profile. Okay, so I have 5 stars in problem solving. So 5 stars is not the maximum limit, right? You can get up to 6, but right around when I was getting 5 stars, right? So I think I got into a company, or so I got into a company, so I didn't solve any problems after that. So yeah, I got 5 stars in problem solving, but you can go up to 6 stars. Some of my friends have got 6 stars in problem solving. And you can see my HackerRank profile here. These are the badges that I got. problem solving 5 stars, C++ a couple of stars. So I didn't do much of C++ here, and Java single star, Python 4 stars. So there was a time where I was trying to learn Python through HackerRank. So that is why I've got 4 stars there, and I've got a couple of stars in SQL and C language. So those are not things I concentrated really on, right? So those are small. Like the majority of the bulk of the problems that I did was in problem solving, right? Yeah. And again, you could see this verified skills, problem solving basic. So they conducted a sort of test. So I took it up and solved a couple of problems, right? So they gave me this certificate saying that you have done this problem solving basically. Like there is also intermediate, I guess. I'm not sure about the name, but there is something above than this, but I haven't done that. Yeah. So yeah, you can. This is a proper certificate, right? You can put this in LinkedIn or anywhere else that you want. Yeah. So this is the HackerRank profile that I have, and yeah. So these are the things, right? So from December, like the last December up until now, I haven't touched HackerRank for a very long time because yeah. So I moved away from that, and for Code.io and these videos, right, I don't use my personal profile, so there is not many solutions done here. Okay, so this is all about HackerRank, and once I was around my 4th or 5th star, or at that point I tried Codeforces, right? Codeforces is a platform where they have, like, it is completely for competitive programmers. They conduct contests 3-4 times a week, right? So every 2 days there will be a contest in CodeChef. Like it is not a regular thing, but mostly there will be there. If you log on to CodeChef, you will find some contest there. I'm not showing my CodeChef profile here, but because I haven't done a lot there, I'm not used to the contests, right? I used to do the problems that were in the contests. I would do that. Because I was trying to learn Python back then, right? So I got 4 stars in HackerRank Python. So at that time I was I basically believe to learn a language you should know the syntax, but other than that you should solve problems using that language, right? So Codeforces provided me with easy problems. Like Codeforces had a lot of problems, so that I'll come to that why I left Codeforces, but there were a lot of easy problems that I could do. So I used those to get good at Python, right? So that is why I went to Codeforces to solve some problems, because there were a lot of problems, basic problems that I could solve in Python. So that is why I used Codeforces. But I tried some contests, but like the contests will have various questions, like around 5 or 4 questions with different difficulty level. So when I tried those, I would solve probably 1 or 2 questions, and the rest of them would terrify me, right? So I wouldn't understand it, or I couldn't think of a solution. So it brought my confidence level really down. So I left Codeforces. I didn't do much Codeforces after that. So I haven't included my Codeforces profile here, but it's not that inspiring. Like none of this is that interesting. But anyways, it's the worst profile I could think of, right? So I haven't included it here, but that is the reason I went away from Codeforces. And around my interview preparation time, I also tried using Leet code. Okay, so I'll just bring up my Leet code profile here. Yeah, so Leet code is really good, and they have so many problems, right? And most of those problems, like all of those problems, will be asked by, like, they have been asked by companies like Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google, and other things. Okay. I don't think I can say Facebook anymore. Meta, fine. So yeah, I decided to solve some problems in Leet code around the time of my interviews, right? When I started to appear for companies, like that is when I tried solving questions in Leet code, and I solved around 68 questions. You can see here, and yeah, I didn't solve much, but I really learned whenever I solve a question, I probably don't know the solution, right? So I'll probably look into the solution and I'll try to figure it out, and that is how I learned a lot of things, right? By solving the questions that I didn't know how to solve. So if you are really interested in placement and you're aiming at companies at that level, I'll highly recommend you to go to Leet code, right? It is excellent. You'll learn a lot. Even if you don't know to solve any questions, you'll learn a lot by looking at the solutions. Yeah, so that is lead code. So the it has I have done something in lead code as well. And other thing is geeks for geeks practice. So when do I use geeks for geeks practices? Like when I want questions from a particular company, right? If some company is coming to my campus, or mostly when we used geeks for geeks practice was for making the videos on our Codevo channel, because we are doing a series called Daily Dose, and those questions were interview questions. Like it was as a part of the interview preparation process. So all those questions were interview questions. So we took all those questions from Geeks for Geeks. You can have filters for companies. Like you can ask them, give me the questions of Amazon. So it will give a lot of questions, and you can try solving those questions. So that is when I used Geeks for Geeks practice. But this is my personal account, so I haven't solved much. So I have only solved around 48 questions here. So yeah, and the majority language I used is C++, and the second one is Java. Okay, so yeah, I haven't solved much in Geeks for Geeks practice as well. So my coding profile or my portfolio or journey was quite weird. So because I didn't stick to one particular platform, I moved around. And like I think that is good as well, right? Because you could explore and you could find the one that is right for you. Yeah, so I hope you got something out of this, because I just wanted to tell you why I chose something or why I moved around, because it would be useful for you, right? You might be in any of these situations, and it would probably help you to choose the platform which is right for you. Yeah, so that is that. I don't think all of this is that inspiring, because there are hell a lot of people who have done really way more than what I've done. But yeah, maybe it will be of motivation for you, right? Even with such a small amount of practice, I would have I have got into a decent company. So yeah, so hope you had enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, put them in the comments, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And if you have any other video ideas as well, put them in the comments. We'll try to make that. So thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye. And if you haven't subscribed to Codevo, please consider subscribing to Codevo. Thank you.